Sometimes, driving down Broadway in Anderson, I still expect to see him. That cheerful smile that he had for everyone, waving at them like they were old friends. And somehow I believe he still is there. Larry the Can Man Van Ness. Sadly, he was taken from us last October after he was tragically struck by a car. And we all know his story when it comes to the tab donations to the Ronald McDonald House. But not to be forgotten, there was so much more to Larry, and we're privileged to get a little peek at Larry's legacy from a woman that likely knew him the best, his friend Rachel Landers. Rachel, thanks for joining us. What's your earliest memory of Larry Van Ness?
I met him in September of 2015, and the reason I met him was because I had a bunch of can tabs that my daughter had been using for crafts, and she lost interest in using them for crafts, and I decided that I was going to try to find somebody else to take those. And someone told me about Larry, and I thought, well, that's a great cause. So I will try to find out where he lives, and I'll take those to him. So about a week later, I went to Larry's place, and he was standing outside on the sidewalk. And he told me before I left that he was very appreciative of the fact that I had stopped and talked to him, because he loved having people drive by and honk and wave and everything. But it wasn't very often that people actually stopped to talk to him. And so he really appreciated that interaction. So probably every, I don't know, maybe a week or two, I would stop in and just see how he was doing. It turned into, maybe going down the street to get a little bite to eat, or taking him to run an errand. And that grew into so much more over the years.
Let's find out more about Larry the Can Man than what we knew as far as standing on the street and collecting tabs for Ronald McDonald House.
There was a whole lot more to Larry than just collecting the can tabs. That, of course, was the identity that he adopted for himself. But aside from that, he was known as just a happy and friendly presence in Anderson. I was just amazed at the things that he told me about what he had experienced in his life, from being homeless at 16, getting involved with drugs and alcohol, how he spent many years as an alcoholic. He told me he'd been arrested, I think, 36 times for public intoxication. He never did drive. He never had a driver's license, but he walked everywhere. And he admitted he did a lot of things that were wrong. But he changed his life around. But Larry loved helping people, and he loved children too. And every year he would look for a family who was in need, and he would actually take them to the grocery store and buy them a couple $100s worth of groceries. Nobody really knows that about him, because he didn't talk about it. He didn't tell anybody that he did that. That was Larry. And I think the reason why that was so important to him is because he knew exactly what it was like to be homeless or have nothing.
Would you describe your relationship with Larry, the Can Man Van Ness, as one of father and daughter type, siblings, or best platonic friends?
Well, I would actually say it's maybe a mixture of all of that. I have thought about that several times in the past myself, just because our relationship was so very unique. Just because, he was a 75-year-old man, I'm 52, and people often thought that I was his daughter or granddaughter. When we met, it just clicked. I just knew that Larry was somebody that I wanted to spend time with, because I felt like he was such a unique person, and he was a genuine person. I can definitely say that I considered Larry to be one of my best friends.
That moment when you found out there had been an accident.
I was at home. I just happened to be looking at my Facebook feed, and I'd been tagged in a post where someone was looking for like family or an emergency contact for Larry because he had been hit by a car. I immediately got my shoes on and went out the door.
I won't ask you to relive a lot of that. And I know that it's painful for you to remember a lot of it too. So fast forward, we all know that ultimately we lost this great member of our community. Going forward, what are we going to do to keep Larry's legacy alive?
The community made it very loud and clear that they wanted to keep Larry's legacy alive, that they wanted to continue to collect the can tabs. We have set up an endowment in Larry's name through the Madison County Community Foundation to help the needy in Madison County. So agencies in this county who assist people can apply for those funds and provide assistance for them, whether it's, for rent or utilities or whatever they need. One way people can help grow that is by donating their cans. So we give the can tabs to Ronald McDonald House, but the whole can we can recycle, and that money from recycling will go into the fund. And we have Newco Metals in Anderson and Gardner Wrecking in Pendleton that are on board with assisting with that. And so if people take their cans there, then they can tell them at the recycling places that they want that money to go into Larry's fund. Another way people can contribute to that endowment is by direct monetary donations. And so the Madison County Community Foundation has a website, and there's a page for Larry's fund, and you can process a donation through them. Other things that the community wanted was to have a statue created of Larry, and we're looking at doing that and putting it up either at Dickman Town Center or at the entrance to Shady Side on Broadway. But we have to raise funds for that. For that is going to cost about $80,000 to have a statue created and put up. And then also we're looking at having a mural painted on a wall downtown Anderson, and that's going to cost about $10,000. I know people want to have these things put in. We just hope that they are willing to donate some money to help make that happen.
So go to Facebook and look for Larry's Legacy in memory of Larry the Can Man Vaness. Rachel Landers, thank you so much for sharing today on this latest buzz of Madison County.